So this covenant between God and Abraham is known as the covenant between the pieces, between the halves. The reason being because Abraham was instructed from God to gather 3 sets of animals and as well as 2 birds. He is then to slaughter these animals and cut them in half and to place one half on one side, the other half on the other side. And Abraham was to pass through these halves. And then God brought a fire that passed through as well. Abraham, however, did not cut the birds into half. The next verse then tells us that the birds of prey attempted to descend upon these carcasses and to devour them. But Abraham stood there and forced these birds of prey away. Now, there's a lot of discussion regarding this whole episode, but there is a MIDRASH, Pirkei Eliezer, which explains that these 3 sets of animals represent the 3 nations that forced the Jews into exile. And therefore, Abraham had to cut them into half. And the reason was in order to diminish their power, to weaken them. The MIDRASH says that if Abraham didn't cut them in half, then the world wouldn't be able to endure too much longer. And then the MIDRASH tells us that the birds in this episode refer to the Jewish people, and therefore they were not cut into half. But then the MIDRASH tells us that these birds of prey is really a reference to Moshiach ben David. And he explains that Moshiach, these birds of prey, wanted to devour the carcasses. The Mashiach wanted to devour and to take away, eradicate the enemies of the Jewish people, and to finally bring redemption, and Mashiach should come. But Abraham didn't allow that to happen at that time. He took like a scarf or a cloth and to wave against these birds and force the birds away until the evening. Now, the striking question is, if the birds of prey is really referring to Mashiach coming and taking away and eradicating the enemies and bringing peace and harmony in the era of Mashiach, why did Abraham want to prevent such a beautiful thing from happening? What was really going on? And in the next lesson, we'll explain the reason.